Volare, oh, cantare.
Welcome everybody to my kitchen here in Nashville, Tennessee. This is Jerry, and I'm going to show you today how to make sugo al fino. Anyway, this is a family recipe. It's a meat sauce, a red sauce, and in Italy they call that ragu. Anyway, we're going to try and make this as expedient as possible, so you can stop and pause it as you want. We're just going to go so it doesn't get too terribly long. Okay, block out plenty of time. You're going to need about probably 4 hours actually, but it's a lot of fun. So check it out. First of all, you want to start by getting 4 cans. You're going to make a large batch. You're going to freeze it. All right, Hunt's pasta sauce, 24-ounce can. They got all kinds of different flavors. You can choose whichever one you might like. I mix them up. It doesn't really matter. All right, you put 4 cans of the pasta sauce in a big pan. All right, this is number 4. I already have 3 in there. This is the 4th, okay? Now, for every 1 can of Hunt's sauce that you put in, you're going to put in 1 can of water. Let me get 1 can of water. Okay? You're going to fill that up. Now, in the end, you're going to have a lot of liquid in there, okay? So, we got 4 cans of sauce, 4 cans of water, salt, pepper, fennel. We're going to show you how you do the fennel in just a minute, okay? Put it inside, put it on high, get it to a boil, all right? And then turn it back to a rolling boil, all right? Okay, now the next thing we got going on here is you want to have some salt. That looks about good. A little pepper. Don't kill it off with salt and pepper. You know, don't kill it off. You want to just put a little there so it just got a little bit there, okay? Just something to spice it up a little bit. All right, now the fennel, your fennel seeds, as you well know, probably, are your fennel seeds are like the little bananas. You know, they look like little bananas. In Italian, it's called finocchio. And those of you that understand Italian know there's more to that. But anyway, okay, what I like to do is I like to crush it in my hand. You can do whatever it takes. Some people use a rolling pin. Some people use a spoon on a cutting board. I just like to use my thumb and just take it and knead it in the palm of my hand. Is typically, I think, all that's really necessary. If you can kind of just get it in little, you just kind of crack it up. You want to just break it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be dust. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Yeah, I can smell it there, okay? Yeah, there you go. All right, after you get that broken up, and you put it in, okay? There we go. Next, you're going to start to prepare your roast that goes inside. You want to have about a 2-pound roast. Again, you're making a very heavy, meaty sauce, okay? Now, this is about a 2-pound chuck roast. Ideally, in a perfect world, you would use a 7-bone roast, but they're very, very difficult to find. But a chuck roast works very, very well. Now, we'll show you how we cut it up. Okay, now this roast is just a little bigger than 2 pounds. But you want to cut it up to where you got it in chunks and not small pieces, okay? Because by the time it gets done tenderizing in the sauce for about 3 hours or a little bit more, it is actually going to be very, very, very tender. It will just fall off the fork, okay? So you want to get them in chunks that are not tiny, and because they're very easy to deal with in the recipe, but not too small. And get a little bit of fat there. That's not a bad thing, okay? Everybody wants to do everything lean these days. Shoot, man, you got to die from something. This is my vice of choice. Anyway, these are good size chunks, okay? Like this, the whole roast, and then it goes right inside or excuse me, no, not yet. Then we're going to brown this, okay? Stand by. Okay, now the next thing is you want to brown the cubes of meat, okay? You don't want to cook it through. You just want to brown it a little bit on the outside. Once you get done browning it, once we get done browning it, we're going to put it all right in there. It's just that simple, okay? Again, you're just browning it. A little bit on all sides, that's all, okay? Just a little on all sides, and we're good to go. All right? Again, you're not cooking the meat, you're just browning it. All right, and that's it. Okay, and once again, as soon as you get a piece that's done, boom, in it goes. Okay, now, this is it. We've got the roast in there. It's on kind of a rolling boil. Yeah, I could turn it up a little bit here, but essentially you want a little rolling boil. You don't want a heavy bubbling boil. And let it go for about 90 minutes. Now, before the timer goes off at 90 minutes, the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our meatballs, okay? Because they get dropped in the drink at the 90-minute mark. Okay, guys, we've got a critical step coming up now. We're going to make the polpetta. That's meatballs, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make the meatballs, and we're going to put everything, all the ingredients, and they're going to go right in the pot. Roll up our hands, get in there, we're going to knead it, and it's going to be a sticky, sticky mess, okay? And then we're going to take it, make little meatballs, and drop it right in the sugo, okay? Now, we're about an hour and a half in, just about, not quite, but just about. So what you want to do is you want to get hamburger, ground chuck, whatever it is. I like 85-15. You know, again, a little bit of fat is a good thing. And I would say this is the most critical part of the whole operation. Okay, it's a very sturdy recipe, but you want to get the meatballs right. Okay, now, what we got is, we got a half a pound of breadcrumbs, or excuse me, half a cup of breadcrumbs, okay? I like the Progresso, because it's got a little Italian seasoning there, okay? All right, there it goes, that goes in. All right, the next thing we got to have here is we got to have 5 eggs, okay? 5 uovi, 5 eggs, there we go. What a mess, you got to love it. Okay, we got a half a cup of parsley, all right? Half a cup of chopped parsley, that goes in. All right, we got, now this is the master ingredient. Pecorino Romano. It's a real strong Romano cheese called Pecorino. It's a goat cheese. And you want to have a cup of that, okay? You get this one right. That's pretty important, all right? Grate it up, in it goes. Now, the recipe also calls for garlic, a clove or two. You know what? I get the jarred stuff, frankly. I mean, you know, hey, what the heck, right? I find it works quite nicely. So, all right, we'll get a little bit of that going there. All right. And where's my salt and pepper? Once again, you don't want to overdo the salt and pepper, but it does require a little, okay? And we'll get a little in there. It's not an exact science, okay? A little bit of pepper. That's good. Okay, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. And finally, bada bing. You gotta, hey, this is important. You gotta say bada bing at least one time while you make this, or it's not gonna come out. Say it. Bada bing. Okay, there. All right, now, shot glass of water. Believe it or not, it does make kind of a difference. Okay, there we go. It gives us just enough. Now, wash your hands. Get your hands in there, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a kneady mess of all of that. Squish, 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 squish. Okay. Now, I'm gonna do that off camera, and then once we drop it in the sugo, which will be in about 5 seconds, you'll see kind of the consistency of this, okay? Okay, we're about 90 minutes in on the operation here, and we have the meatball concoction. I don't know how well you can see that. Maybe yes, maybe no. Anyway, it's all sticky and here in the pan. What we're going to do is we're going to, well, I'll just show you. Here, you just take it, form it. Okay, you form your meatballs, raw. You bet. With all the good stuff in there, and you just drop it in. And that is all there is to it. Form them in your hand. You don't want them golf ball size. A little bit bigger than that. Just a little bit bigger than golf ball size. But you don't want anything somewhere between a golf ball and a baseball, okay? One is too big, one is too small. And that is what you do. You form them, you drop them in. Now that pan, you're going to look in and you're going to see that a lot of the sugo, a lot of the water has boiled off. And a lot of the meat flavor from the roast is going right inside there. And now we're going to add all the good stuff in the meatballs, and that's going to go inside too and flavor the meat. Now you got about another 90 minutes to go on this, so reset your timer for 90 minutes, okay? Drop it in. You're going to be careful when you stir it. Stir it not often, just occasionally, okay? Just give it a little stir now and then very gently and let it go, okay? Rolling boil, rolling boil. Then it's just a matter of simmering it, and that's it. Oh yes, your house will smell heavenly. Anyway, this is a good look at what it looks like as it's just kind of bubbling and bubbling. You can see it's a lot of that moisture is evaporating out. A lot of the water is leaving. A lot of the meat and the cheese and all the good stuff is going right into that sugo. Anyway, that's what it looks like when it's going. And then, when you're done, you turn off the heat and you just let it cool down. I have, in other places where I've lived, actually set it out on the back porch in the snow to cool all night. This will be molten by the time you get it off. And it sets up better if you let it cool way down, stick it in the refrigerator overnight for a day. It kind of thickens it up a little bit. And that is essentially it. You're done. Let it cool down. Put it outside overnight in the snow, whatever it takes. It'll take a long time. It won't freeze. Believe me, it won't freeze. In any event, you want it to cool down, and as I had said, it sets up very nicely. If it cools down and even goes into the refrigerator for a night or for a day, it thickens it up a little bit. Not mandatory, but it gives it, it's a sturdy sauce. If you find that you believe that it's too runny, just let it boil longer, okay? Just let it evaporate for a longer time. If it's too thick, add a little water. It's a very, very sturdy sauce. Okay, what I do, you have a huge quantity of sugo here. What I do is I then ladle it into freezer bags, okay? And these go into the freezer. When I want one, I just take it out, put it on the counter, thaw it, and it's ready to go. Anyway, wonderful recipe. You make a big pot like this and it'll last you for quite a long time. Okay, this is me saying buon appetito.
Let's fly way up to the clouds, away from the maddening crowds. We can sing in the glory.